Hi there, this is Freddie Scheinfeld. I'm the creator of Pulsor. What we're gonna do here is go through the video and one of the tracks that I did for our website so you can hear how it was made and listen some of the sound I used. So I'm gonna play the whole track so you can hear what's going on. Alright, here we go. Okay, so the first patch I use is this atmospheric dark pulse. It's a nice pulsing bed. Let me play it here so you can hear how it sounds. So it's pretty dark. One of the controllers you can use with this patch is the pitch bend. It actually does pitch bending, but kind of slowly, so it sounds very big, very epic. So let me show you so you can hear it. It can also sound like an alarm. I think I used it at the end of the track. If you listen right here. So obviously pretty useful for dark moments. Okay, next we have the low noise pulse. Let me play this one through. Okay, so you can see there's a few things going on. When you play it with all the controls on the default settings, this is what you get. It's like a very low, pulsing, kind of muted sound. If you add some pitch bend, you can mute a little bit the noise factor and you just get the deep bass pulse. you can do the opposite and get a little bit more of the rumble. When you use the mod wheel, this is what you get. So it can get really, really epic, really big. It's a nice sound. Also, if you're doing some orchestral stuff to combine with big toms or dicos, stuff like that, it makes them sound even bigger. So next we have this combine comb filter pulse. Let me see what it's doing here. Okay, so it's a good rhythm using some comb filtering, and you can get a lot of colors by using the controllers. Like if I open the filter, or if I use the pitch bend, you get a little delay, or you can solo some of the elements. You can combine that with the mod wheel. So this happens a lot in the library. I use the pitch bend a lot for controlling the mix. A lot of these pulses are very busy, so they normally don't work very well with the actual pitch bending. If you just pitch bend the notes. A few of those, like the atmospheric dark pulse, so that one I still had to program it a little bit so it sounded actually useful. But so I'm using that as a almost like a real-time mixer, and you don't have to go through Zebra or your DAW to program controllers. It's all in the pitch bending and the mod wheel. That's everything I'm using on this library. One cool thing about this sound, you can see here, I used two of these because this one is one that is actually nice for layering. Like I was saying, a lot of the sounds are very busy, so if you start layering sound, it can sound a little bit weird. Sometimes just two notes is enough, an octave or maybe fifth. But this one is actually nice. Let me show you when I start layering a few notes. Like right here. So you hear this. Let me just solo this. So you hear this, and then you have some more notes going on. So pretty useful. Okay, so next we have this dark pulse. This one starts right here. Let me just solo it. Okay, so this one is pretty dark and industrial. I'm actually playing a version here that is muting some of the elements. Let me play the patch in his default settings. This is what you get. It's pretty dark. You get that little ostinato there with the bending, and of course with the pitch bend, you can control that. You can mute it. Or you can accent it a little bit more. And with the mod wheel, get more delay, and you can combine both. Like I can mute it and get a delay at the same time. So it's very playable, and you can get a lot of mileage from that one sound. So you could just do, like a 30 seconds in a queue just by playing that sound. So Next, we have this zombie alert sound, which is pretty crazy. I think that's playing at the yeah, right here. So I think the name says it all. Let me just play it through. Okay, so you can see you can do a lot of stuff just with the pitchbend and the mod wheel. This is the default sound. Pretty basic. So with the pitchbend, you can mute one of the elements, and the mod wheel, you can bend that like one octave higher, or combine it with the pitchbend, and you get. So that's it. Next, we have this spy pulse. Let me play it here. Okay. So this sound. Yeah, so it's very subtle. Nice groove going on. And you can add some little 16 noisy thing going on, or you can just solo the bass. And with the mod wheel, you can filter the sound almost to the point that you don't hear it. It's great for sneaking in and fading in. Okay, so next we have this big noise hit. This is one of these. This is not a pulse. This is on other category that we have. This called I think others. It's just for different elements that I found that were useful, and they actually come from the pulses, so they complement each other very well. This just is. We have a few of these. This is a big noise hit. I think we have like a really low one, a higher one, and it works pretty similar to the low noise pulse. As we can open the filter and make it bigger. You're going to control a little bit of the delay and reverb. We're using the pitch bend. Next we have this huge metallic instrument. Same thing. This one actually comes from another pulse, but I found it's really playable and very useful for hits. That's a nice pitch bend going on too. Let me play the section where this is being used. Okay, right here. Right here too. I think it's the ending. Yeah. It has that nice loopy metallic thing going on top. The distorted brass pad is one of the few pads we have in the collection. I only included a few because I want to focus on the pulses, but I think these are super useful. They're blend very well with the other stuff. This one is very subtle. It adds some distortion when you open the filter. Then we have the metallic clicking pulse. Very organic. So let's see what we can do with the pitch bend. It plays a little bit with the metal aspect of the sound, and you can also solo the pulse, the bass, and the mod wheel. Kind of filter and muted the low stuff, almost like a high pass. So let me play it so you can hear how it sounds in context. It blends very well. Oh, by the way, this little thing you hear here, this little filter, is actually a distorted brass pad. Okay, so next we have this time pulse. This is also very subtle, I think. Oh yeah. Great for tension. Let's see what we can do with pitch bend. Some filtering and the mod wheel. So let me see what I'm doing here. Oh, this on this this example, I'm actually playing it as a percussive element. Let me listen to it. It's kind of like a bass percussion. So yeah, there's many ways of using it. Okay, next we have the high bell tension arpeggiator. Very organic too. Play one octave higher. This one is really sensitive to velocity. Actually, a lot of the patches are, and it changes a lot of the color. So if I play soft, this is what you get. A little bit harder. Okay, some pitch bending. Just some elements of the sound playing. Mod wheel. Some filtering, and you can actually hear that it's a little more reverb too on the high notes. Very cool stuff. Now we have the Modi and industrial. Okay, so this one is playing at the end. Let me just solo it, see what's going on. Very dark and industrial, yeah. Okay, so let me just play live with the pitch bend to see what stuff I can do with it. So this is the basic sound right here. I use the pitch bending. It's a little darker even. I go to the other side, accent another part of the sound, and if I use the mode wheel, some filtering, and you can hear a little bit more the noise aspect of it. That's playing it a couple of octaves higher. So next we have this relax bass pulse. I think we have a couple of these. So let me play it live first, and then I'll play the sequence. Very smooth pulse. This is what you do with the pitch bend. Yeah, you can get a lot of mileage out of this one. Then the mod wheel. You get that high pitch ostinato. So let me play it in context. I think I'm using every controller in this one. Yeah, this one is nice to combine notes too, I think. Okay, so soft metallic pulse. Let me just play it on the sequence. You can see a little bit what's going on with the controller. Very subtle, very organic, and also very responsive to velocity. If I play higher. Useful, I think. Now we have this emotional tremolo pad. This is nice. This is a mix between a pulse and a pad. It's just basically a pulsing pad. You can also sneak it very well, like in a QE dialogue, using the mod wheel like this. You can fade it in very naturally. You can add a little bit of more body to it with the pitch bend. So very useful for film scoring. Now we have the distorted red pass. I think we already went through it. We have the subtle pad. This one is one of my favorites. So simple, but I really think you can use it a lot. Very, very subtle. Is using the model. Yeah, so it's very inspiring, I think, and it blends very well with everything. Now we have the dark and dangerous. This one Yeah, this is the last one I'm using on this track. So let me just play. It's kind of industrial too. It has that kind of noise drone thing. And this, if you use the pitch bend, you get more of that, more of the noise. Or more of the pulse. Yeah. And last one, we have this huge 4 oscillator bass arpeggiator. Yeah, this is pretty simple. It's just an analog big synth with 4 oscillators. It's very useful. Yes, I love how Zebra emulates this kind of analog sounds. It has some metallic quality to it that you can accent using the pitch bend, I think. Can open it a little bit. Of course, you can change the patterns. This is an arpeggiator, I think. I'm using this one as a percussive element from what I see here. Let me just play it through, solo it. So in context, yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's it. Those are all the sounds I'm using on this track. I'm not using any delays or reverb or any effects. You know, one of the things that I haven't mentioned is all the pulses here, they have stem versions on the library. So what that means is that you can find the elements of each pulse separate. So let's say you're playing this I don't know, the zombie sound, the zombie alert. It's kind of easy. So let's say you only want a few elements and you don't want to go through the programming of soloing these elements. You just need to go through the steps. We already did it for you. So you have all these elements and that conform the main pulses. This is great for mixing when you use when you compose orchestral music. You know, it blends better. You know, I find that when I'm composing, the simpler stuff is easier to use. So I wanted to have that option in this library. I think on this track, all the patches that I use are main pulses. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoy the Soundset. Please write us if you have any questions or suggestions. Thanks.